We are joined by CEO and founder of Metal, Marshall Hayner. So Metal was founded back in April of 2016, and their plan was to use cryptocurrency as an incentive for users to join the METALPAY app, which is a peer-to-peer payments and transactions app. It's designed beautifully to get new users involved in the cryptocurrency space, which is a big hurdle right now for new apps in cryptocurrency. So I'm going to, turn it over to Marshall. Marshall, how are you doing today, man?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on, Mike. And thanks for Cryptocopia community, a community I've been a member of for many years, supporting Metal throughout the years and having us on the show today.
We were just talking a little bit before the live stream started. You said you joined Cryptocopia back in 2014.
I think it was either end of 2014 or 2015, and it was a Slack channel when I first came in. And I really do view Cryptocopia as a very OG crypto channel. It's really great to be here.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your background, some of the projects that you've worked on, and how you started working on Metal in the first place?
I came on a little bit after it was started in the beginning of 2009. I went to school in Boston, Massachusetts, great college town, home of Harvard, MIT, Northeastern. That's where I went. Just was always fascinated with cryptography, decentralized networks. I love to play with technology just for fun because I think it's interesting. So I created QuickCoin, which is just a one-click Bitcoin wallet. It uses your Facebook OAuth. The next level is hardware and key management. How do we make this amazing experience? Because what cryptocurrency does, and I know that the mass market doesn't know this yet, it really democratizes currency. It really decentralizes currency. It allows us to create economic experiments that we couldn't have done in 1,000 years prior to this, which is really this mind-blowing moment. I can have money in my mind. That's crazy. And so that got me so excited. And I created QuickCoin. We grew very fast, rapidly grew that platform over 2 months, approaching almost 1 million users, and then joined the Stellar project short after that and helped launch the Stellar wallet. That grew to over 1 million users in under a week. And that was an amazing experience. And then I left and I joined Block.io. And that's where I met our current CTO and co-founder, Glenn Marion. When consumers and merchants and businesses and large companies like Facebook and JP Morgan, when they start to adopt and these platforms start to adopt, we can create the most amazing technological advancement that finance has seen. And, I know it sounds crazy, but hundreds of years, in my opinion. And that's what I'm all about. And that's what started my journey and got me here today.
No, that's super interesting. And I feel like there are like 8 different directions we could go in right now. You have to, really be a master of a lot of different hats to really get a sense of like, all right, what is Bitcoin doing right now? But what is the potential someday? Right.
That's right.
But why don't we just talk about real fast? So METALPAY is, it's a really successful app on the iOS, the Apple Store right now. You guys have, gained 30,000 users just since January. So could you tell us just a little bit about what led to that success? What kind of drove that adoption that you've been seeing?
Yeah. So we're actually over 50,000 today. So a little over a month, almost doubled. And some of the things that have really driven that success, I would say good UI, good UX, our referral system, the POP reward system. And POP is such a cool idea because it's, V1 is PayPal 1997, right? And that was, okay, I have to choose, is this a gift or am I making a payment to a friend or family member? And the fee is going to vary on that and the protections are going to vary around that. It was really a platform that was built for a merchant market, which was eBay, right?
Okay.
And then you have Venmo, which is over text, that's free, right? Then you have Square Cash, which is like a cooler UI connected, eventually, hopefully connected to the Square Cash merchant terminals. Very cool. But the next iteration of this is completely changing the payments game. I'm going to pay you to make a transaction because when I discovered Bitcoin in 2009, it took me a few weeks to understand it. Where's the API that it plugs into the bank? I need to see, wait, you're telling me there's no bank API? How the hell does this work? Right, and then I wrapped my head around it. Oh, wait, they're just units that like gold, like an ounce of gold. How much is an ounce of gold? What's 1 Bitcoin, right?
Where's the money coming from? How do you create a Bitcoin? Where's the bank?
That's right. And that's the mission of Metal, is to rethink the way we view money, rethink the way we think about money. Because money, what is really money? It's a shared ledger and a belief system and a government, most likely, right, that enforces it. and controls the capital expansion and restriction through a Federal Reserve, a central bank. And that's really what money is. But most people don't look at their paycheck or the cash in their wallet and go, where did this come from? And who's printing? How much is being printed? And how does money get created, right? When we start to ask these questions, it's like going to the gym, right? You want muscles? Go to the gym. Start asking questions. How do I get more muscles? Well, I got to eat better. Well, I got to go to the gym every day. When we start asking these financial questions, we can start with, how do I have more? How do I budget? But when we ask the really deep questions, where does it come from? How does it work? Some really amazing things start happening.
Mm-hmm. And I think actually one of my favorite, like you were just saying, there were so many different ways to look at it, just the idea of money. Like how exactly do you, like, what do you call it really? Andreas Antonopoulos called it a language, which just blew my mind. It took me a little while to get around like thinking around it like that, but he basically just considers it a means of expressing value and how we ascribe value, who has more value than somebody else, or a way of, I guess, quantifying work that other people have put in that you could purchase from somebody else, work put into harvesting a banana that you're going to buy, or putting together a burger that you're going to eat, or name your example, right?
It is true. It is a language, right? You want to use a new currency, you got to learn the language. You want to play with a new coin, interact with a new coin. Well, we're going to go to Cryptocopia and ask who knows something about it, right? Experts tell us.
Speaking of pop, I wanted to ask you a little bit about the economics of pop. So for anybody who isn't as familiar with the Metal Project, the most straightforward way to put it is, as you're spending money, as you're transacting and sending money to your friend for the Uber that you just took last night to get back home, spent $20 and you earn, I think it's around or maybe exactly 5% cash back, but you're not receiving cash, you're receiving metal tokens, which you can then exchange, or you can sell in exchange for Bitcoin or whatever other crypto that you want to purchase that's hosted on the platform. So Marshall, what I was wondering was just basically how the pop economics work out. I know that they're not processed via proof of work, they're processed by people transacting, right? So what I'm wondering is, over time, how do the inflationary economics work out? Will there come a time where there's no more metal to distribute? And then what happens then?
The thesis was in 2016 when I created the white paper for POP. This comes from my experience of, as soon as it clicked for me in 2009, I realized, well, wait a second. The second that this takes on value, the mining companies are no longer going to sell the chips. Why should I sell you a cash printing machine when I could keep it for myself? And very similar to mining, if everybody tries to mine, the difficulty increases and you're not going to get as much. So if everybody's popping, of course, there's not like unlimited 5% for everyone, but maybe you hodl, maybe you wait. And then maybe over time that unit outpaces the difficulty, right? Or how easy it is to mine and what's the cost in the future. We created this mechanism to say anybody can use Venmo. Now we can use metal, right? And we could also transact with cryptocurrency. So it's not just about being able to send and receive it, but it's about it never leaving the system. Why do we have to sell it?
So what I'm wondering is, hypothetically, Facebook announces FB coin, and all of a sudden you're allowed to and able to send money on Facebook Messenger, back and forth to your friends with FB coin, right?
Right.
So would you see that as a major challenge to your business, or would that be something that just brings a crazy amount of validation to cryptocurrency and is actually a huge opportunity for metal?
1000% the latter. If Facebook does that, that validates everything that we're doing at Metal. I can plug into Facebook social graph. I can list Facebook coin. I can integrate it, and those users are going to come onto my platform because Facebook is great, but it's not known as Venmo. It's not known as Zelle, even though, Messenger's trying, right? And lots of apps are trying. We like to keep our money in our bank, in our payments app, and we like to keep my messages in my messages app, right? And if there's a little bit of like a tip bot or some sort of transfer, that's cool. WeChat is a great example of where we can integrate currencies with the social network. That is a tremendous inspiration for me. I think having Facebook do this would be so awesome. One thing that was really cool was in January of last year, approximately about a year ago, David Marcus and the Facebook blockchain reached out to me. It is before it was announced, invited me down to the Facebook headquarters. We sat down, we talked about, what does this look like? What does the future of this look like? And I said, I pitched what I'm pitching right now. We've got to have stablecoin. And what I pitched to them, and maybe they're listening today, maybe they're not, who knows? But what I said to them is, yeah, stablecoin would be really cool. I think you guys should look at distributed ledger technology. And I also think that you should think about a floating currency, right? Like a grouped currency, like that's, Facebook's coin. Let it ride at the value of Facebook. And yeah, also stable coins and other cryptos should flow over Messenger. And I basically pitched them, you should integrate my app and pop through Messenger. I do believe that these platforms coming online and doing it, it only validates what we're doing. It's only going to push more users when they get their first Facebook USD and they realize, oh, there's all of these other coins out there, right? There's Bitcoin, there's Metal, there's Ripple, there's Stellar, there's Ethereum, there's all these really cool cryptos. What do they do? It's, as we know in Cryptocopia, as we know in crypto, it's like sports teams. What's your favorite team? What's your favorite crypto? What jersey are you going to wear? I'm going to wear Metal. You're going to wear like Ethereum, right? We're going to be different teams, but we have different passions. Forget about price. Forget about all these things. If we change the way that money works, we can change the world. And it's not about, yes, money is what puts the roof overhead and gives us food and clothes and all these things. But when we really start thinking about it, we really get down to it, it's just a language. And by us becoming globalized in the currency sense, it is going to change the world. When the flow of money matches the flow of information, it's going to be massive.
Well, listen, we're going to switch it up and we're going to actually move to community questions. Why don't we jump to Pop-Tarts for You? They're wondering, isn't it a great name? Pop-Tarts for everybody. All right. How much competition do you think you'll face from Square in the future? They allow users to buy Bitcoin with a lower fee and also to send it to an on-chain address.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting very close to Square feature parity. Here's what we're missing that the Metal doesn't have that Square has. We don't have same day withdrawal yet, and we don't have the debit card and mainnet withdrawal. But all of those features are planned for this year. And I've been saying this for a few years. I do believe that competition is going to get fierce. I do believe that it's going to heat up. There's a reason why I was down in Menlo Park talking to Facebook and David Marcus and I've been talking to larger companies like Google. I believe that once this thing really starts to take off, Metal has to pick a partner. Metal has to align with a big dog and ride with a larger company as well, because they do own a lot of the data. They do tend to have these things. I do believe it will get competitive. Absolutely. I love being the mouse dancing next to the elephant and saying, yeah, you're a $20 billion company. I'm a $50 million company and I'm close to feature parity. And I've only been running for like 2.5 years, but you have like over a decade on me. Watch what happens when I get considerable funding and we start to really grow this thing, because I think I can outpace your features faster. And that's when most likely we partner with a larger company. We raised such a small amount of money and we made that 3 million, 1 million in equity and 2 million in our token, made it look like 30 million, right? So we're going into our next round right now and we're gonna raise 10 million and we're gonna make that look like 100 million. We're gonna keep doing that, raise responsibly, execute on the vision, and have that passion, hire an amazing team that's not here for the money, but's here for the vision, here for changing the world. I know that sounds cheesy, but we really believe it here at Metal. We are going to change the world. We're going to play a part in that. Metal is rapidly approaching the features that we're going to add that's going to get to parity with Venmo and Square Cash is same day withdrawal. We just talked about the debit card. So the physical and virtual debit card, the physical one in your wallet that links to your cash card, but also the virtual one that rests in Apple Pay and GPay. So tap to pay at Whole Foods, whatever. Those features, the debit card and the instant withdrawal, those features are imminent.
All right. Next up, Unchained. They're wondering, so with mass adoption lingering, will MetalPay adopt popular fiat options such as loans or keeping the change features or the ability to direct deposit payroll along with the use of a debit card?
Yes, absolutely. So not everybody knows this, and we're adding the messaging to Metal, but when you sign up for Metal right now, you're opening a checking account. You're opening an FDIC insured demand deposit account that has its own account number in your name and the routing number of our bank partner. Pretty soon, we're going to, the same as Square Cash, allow you to expose your account and routing number for direct deposit. We also are planning on releasing our debit card, our check writing capability, lending, so you can just quickly get a cash advance if you need right inside the app. All of your favorite crypto features and things you haven't even thought of or seen yet, plus everything inside your bank in a much more fun and rewarding social environment.
All right. P. Warzinskiewicz wants to know if you could talk about the marketing plan for MetalPay a little bit. What major development milestones exactly do you need to achieve before the aggressive marketing starts?
Really, after this financing round, that's when you're going to start to see billboards, TV commercials, different more mainstream stuff. you'll feel it. You'll feel it. The moment metal starts to be really frictionless and you can just get anybody on it anywhere in the world at any time, that's when it really starts to blow up.
Okay. Awesome. Marshall, thank you again so much for coming on. It's been a real pleasure. We've enjoyed chatting with you, hearing your thoughts on, just cryptocurrency in general and where things are going, but also where metal's going. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Good night.